Hi guys, this is John Paul RNG. I'm just about to finish the farthest LSD I've run in 6 months since this quarantine period began. A good 14 kilometers. I'm a bit tired, but I'm happy with how I ran it. See ya in our next video.
Hi guys, this is John Paul RNG. We are going to have an exciting topic for today. We'll be discussing all about energy balance. So tune in and do not forget to subscribe to my channel and click that notification button. Alright, see you in a bit! Okay, so we are ready now to discuss all about energy balance. But before we proceed with energy balance, let me just give you some terms, some definition of terms. Right, but again, before we talk about that, I remember, I think in the first part of the video, I said that I just ran my longest LSD. Redundant. My farthest LSD or my longest run. LSD stands for long, slow distance. It's a 14 kilometers. Well, for others, it's only 14 kilometers. But I haven't run that distance in more than 6 months since this pandemic, this quarantine and lockdown started. So, I mean, it was really, really tiring. So when I checked my mobile app for running, I saw there that I actually spent or burned around 1,100 plus calories. So, yes, we're gonna talk about calories today. That's why I said to you about something like that. So, the 1,100 plus calories is somewhat like half of what I require for today or for the day itself. So, that's what we call the total energy expenditure. But before we proceed to total energy expenditure, let's talk about first what is energy balance. Now, when we talk about energy balance, it means that there is a balance between two things. What are these two things? First, there's what we call the energy intake or sometimes called the energy input. So what do we mean by energy intake? From the term itself, intake, whatever you're taking in your body. It means that this is the amount of energy you derive or you get from your consumption of food. And if you don't know yet, there are 3 nutrients that can yield or that can give us energy. And these are what we call the macros or the macronutrients. And there are 3 as I mentioned. What are these? We have carbohydrates, we have proteins, and we have fats. These 3 nutrients would give us energy. And this energy is actually converted into heat. That's why we're called warm-blooded. This energy is converted into heat, and the measurement of this energy is what we call calories, or sometimes it's also called joules. But the more common term is calories or kilocalories. So that's what we get from food. We eat carbohydrates, proteins, and fat because we want to get energy from it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there should be a balance. A balance between what? Energy intake and what we call energy expenditure. So what is energy expenditure? Basically, energy expenditure is the amount of energy we spend. Or probably in a much simpler term, it's the amount of energy we burn. Not just from doing exercises, but we burn because 24/7 we're actually burning energy. And there are 3 things where we use energy. First is what we call the resting energy expenditure or sometimes called the basal metabolism. Meaning, we are spending energy while at rest, while we're sleeping. In what way? Through digestion, breathing. Yes, we spend energy in those things. Alright? And the second one is what we call the thermic effect of food. What's thermic effect of food? Well, it may sound weird because when you say thermic effect of food, this is the amount of energy we use to convert food into energy. Although that is very, very minimal as compared to the basal metabolic rate or the basal metabolism and the third one, which is what we call your physical activities. All right? Physical activities means these are the activities that you are actually doing while you're awake. All right? More, not just about exercises. Sometimes they call it the exercises. But I'd rather use the word physical activity because let's say you're just sitting, you're still spending energy. You're just cooking, you're still spending energy. Like Right now, I'm sitting and I'm discussing something to you. I am talking to you. I am still spending energy. So that is part of what we call physical activity. And in fact, later on, we'll discuss or I'll show you that there are different levels of physical activity. So, when we talk about energy balance, guys, I was about to say class. So it's as if I'm still in my online class. But anyway, just like what I was saying to you guys, there should be a balance between your energy intake and energy expenditure. So if there's a balance between these two things, what happens? Is there a gain weight or is there weight loss? The answer is there's none. You're not gonna gain weight, you're not gonna lose weight at all because it's just balance. Whatever you take in, you're also spending that. For example, let's say as I mentioned calories, you measure that the amount of food you've eaten, let's say, is 2,000 calories. And based on your expenditure calculation, which we will be discussing later on, is also 2,000 calories. There's a balance. So there's no weight gain, there's no weight loss. Now, how does it happen that we have, we gain weight and we lose weight? Okay, so there's an imbalance. If there's an imbalance between the intake and the expenditure, either you're gonna lose weight or either you're gonna gain weight. Okay, so I don't exercise, I don't run because I wanna lose weight. I mean, I'm actually, well, my desirable body weight or IBW and BMI is actually just normal. I'm not planning to, lose weight. In fact, I wanna gain some weight, muscle mass. That's why I'm exercising. Well, anyway, going back, so if there's an imbalance, let's say the energy intake is higher than that of the energy expenditure, then that's what we call positive energy. So what is positive energy? Positive energy is, it means that the energy that you're taking in from food or consuming or getting from food is higher than what you're actually spending. So what will happen if there's a positive energy? What do you think? We're in a class. Any idea? Well, the thing is, if there's a positive energy, if the intake is higher than that of the expenditure, well, definitely there's extra energy. If there's extra energy that is not being used, what will happen? It will remain in our bodies. So what will happen is that you will gain weight. So if you want to gain weight, the answer is very simple. You have to eat more than what you're spending. Okay? But we will discuss that later on. Now, on the other hand, if the expenditure is actually higher than that of your intake, you're exercising, every day you're working out. Let's say based on your exercise, you are spending 2,500 calories. And your daily requirement is only 2,000 calories. So what does it mean? It means that you should take in around 2,500 calories because that's what you're actually spending. But because the energy intake is not enough, then that's what we call negative energy. Right? What does it mean? So what's the result? I mean, the result would be weight loss. You're gonna lose weight. Because most of the time, people that ask me, what is the best diet for me to gain weight or for me to lose weight, especially for losing weight? The first question I normally would ask them is that, are you working out? Are you exercising? What's the level of your physical activity? Because this is what I've been advocating. For me, it's not just about diet. Yes, I am a nutritionist dietitian. I am an advocate of eating healthy. But at the same time, I'm also encouraging people to work out or to be engaged in any physical activity. It could be running, it could be swimming, it could be, badminton, tennis, basketball, any kind of sports or physical activities. Or you could do CrossFit or HIIT training or HIIT. So whatever. But the important thing is that you have to increase your physical activity in order for you to have negative intake. Why am I saying this? Why am I not first recommending you have to diet? But here's the thing. Normally, if we're going to compute what you're consuming on a daily basis, based on my personal experience as a nutritionist dietitian consulting with people who would like to lose weight, most of the time is that they're not really able to reach their total energy expenditure or TEE. Alright? So we'll discuss later on. So, if you're not able to reach your TEE, let's say it's 2,500 and you're only able to, what do you call this? Uh, reach 2,000 calories only, then look at your physical activity. Because even if you're not able to reach your 2,500, you only were able to reach 2,000, but your physical activity is still lesser, lower than that of your total expenditure, then that is still what we call a positive energy intake. Because the positive energy, I mean, sorry for that. Why? Because the intake is still higher than that of your expenditure. So is there a need for you to lessen your energy consumption? My answer is there's none yet. What you need to do is first, probably keep that whatever you're eating and then increase your energy expenditure so that you're going to lose weight. So the question now is, what is the energy requirement for males? According to some researches, for males, it's between 2,000 to 3,000 calories per day. Of course, still depending upon your age and your height. Alright? And your weight as well. Of course, taller people will be requiring more energy. For female, it's actually between 1,600 to 2,400. Now, for Filipinos, I am going to share to you the energy requirement by the PDRI. So, here it is. So, this is the energy requirement. As you can see, on the average for Filipinos, it's around 2,300 to 2,500 depending on your age. For example, in my age group, my requirement is 2,420. And as you can see, there's also the weight requirement, but I'm not following that because what we're using is, what I'm actually using now is what we call the ideal body weight or desirable body weight. So the question now is, if I want to know my exact desirable body weight, what should I be doing? So I will be showing to you two formulas for computing your total energy expenditure. All right. The first one is this formula. I'm using this one because it actually accounts for your physical activity. So the formula is actually here, as you can see in the next slide. So it says here, basal metabolic need, 1 calorie per kilogram desirable body weight or ideal body weight for male and 0.9 calories per ideal body weight kilogram, for female. So how do we compute it? In order for you to compute it, you're just going to get first your desirable body weight. Look at my previous videos. I mentioned how to compute that, or if I wasn't able to, I think I wasn't able to compute that yet. Just look into the to the net. I'll discuss that in my next video probably. Look into the internet on how are you going to compute your ideal body weight. Then, from your ideal body weight, multiply it to what do you call this? To 24 hours. Kasi it's Tagalog. Because 1 kilocalorie per kilogram per day, so 24 hours. So let me just use my example. My ideal body weight is 68 kilograms based on my height. So multiplying it to 24, as you can see, I will be needing for my basal metabolism is 1,632 calories. Then you get the percentage of your physical activity. So right now, because I'm still teaching and I'm still doing some workout and physical activities, I use 50. So you're going to multiply a percentage. So you're going to multiply 1,632 calories to 0.5, which is percentage. So that would be 816. So 816 calories from plus 1,632 calories. Then my requirement would be 2,448. It's somewhat similar to what I showed you earlier from the PDRI. So here's now a list of the physical activity. We have bed rest, sedentary, light, moderate, and heavy. And here's also a list of what are those physical activities. For example, for sedentary, if you're mostly sitting, you just use sedentary. So if you're just doing online work or work from home, and you can just use sedentary. Now, if you're a teacher and you're normally standing, or you're a nurse, or your students as well that you're doing a lot of activities, normal students, not the online classes, then you can use light, or if you're doing some workout. Now, for moderate, these are your vendors, these are your drivers, these are your housewives without maid because they'll be doing a lot of household chores. Then use moderate. And then for heavy, these are for the heavy workers, no? Like farmers, fishermen, they're what do you call this? Lifting a lot of things. Let's say you are actually a weightlifter, or you're doing some weight training, then you can use heavy, provided you're doing this on a daily basis. If you're just doing it, let's say twice or thrice a week, you can just go to moderate or light. So that's the first method. The second method is actually much simpler. Why? Because from your DBW, you're just going to multiply it to your physical activity. So this is the other method. The total energy expenditure is kilocalorie per kilogram IBW per day. So for my example, I use 68, and then based on here, it's light. I use sedentary this time because let's say I am just sitting out, or I'm just sitting all day, all throughout, let's say. So for my example, it's sedentary, so my requirement would be 2,040 calories. So that's how you compute for your total energy expenditure. Now, you might ask, John Paul, how do I compute now my energy expenditure? There are actually a lot of resources now in the internet that would give you the amount of energy or the amount of calories you'll be spending. Because, well, different literatures would give you different amount. But there are actually now apps, mobile apps, that would give you, let's say, the energy spent for your activities. Let's say you swim, you run, you bike, you do basketball, and so on and so forth. It will give you somewhat like a range of what you do. For example, normally for a 30-minute run under 5 kilometer, a 5 kilometer run under 30 minutes, normally you'll be spending around 300 to 400 to 500 calories, depending on your pace, depending on how intense the activity is. So from there, you will be able to gauge it. You will be able to estimate it. So once you estimated it, let's say, oh, this is my energy expenditure. Now this is also what I require. You'll be able to know already if you're actually spending much or not. Okay? So, bottom line is, the more important thing is you increase your physical activity if you want to lose weight. Now, if you want to gain weight, well, in that case, there are a lot of other things. Of course, you can do workouts, you can do weightlifting, but of course that I will be discussing that for another topic. But for the meantime, that we're only discussing all about energy balance, if you just want to gain weight and you don't want to exercise, which most of you, I believe, prefers that, then eat a lot. Now, you might say, John Paul, I'm eating a lot, but I'm not gaining weight. So then again, as I mentioned earlier, you have to check what's your TEE. Because most of the time, you thought that you're eating a lot, but once you computed your TEE, you'll be surprised that you're not really even able to reach your total energy expenditure, or sometimes called your total energy requirement. So, in that case, you're not gonna gain weight at all because you're just going to maintain it. Because in other words, there's just a balance, or the expenditure is still higher than that of the intake. Now, you might ask, John Paul, what is the ideal weight loss per day? Oh, not per day, per week. The ideal weight loss per week is between 0.5 kilogram I mean, to 1 kilogram, or 1 pound to 2 pounds. That is the healthy way. I know some of you would be saying you want to lose weight fast. You know, I always say that there's no easy way. You have to go through the process. A lot of things would say, or a lot of diets, a lot of people would say, you do this, I lost weight in doing this. But I always say, there should always be a balance between your food intake and your physical activity. For you to lose weight or gain weight, one cannot stand alone. You cannot just say, oh, it's all about dieting. Yes, I am a dietitian. I am promoting healthy eating, but then again, I'm also an athlete. So I'm also promoting engaging yourselves in physical activity. So there must be a balance. Because at the end of the day, what we would like to for you I mean what I would like for you guys to have is a healthy lifestyle. I mean, there's a lot of fad diets which I'm not going to discuss yet. There are controversial ones. And a lot of people did lose weight. But for me, based on my experience, based on my consultations with my clients and my patients, the most important thing that you have to do is you have to engage yourselves in physical activity, and then you also have to eat healthy. You have to eat right. So that's the reason why I am talking about your total energy expenditure and energy balance. Alright, so John Paul, what are the foods that we need to eat in order for us to lose weight and gain weight? So that would be our next discussion. That would be my next video. We're going to talk what are those foods, what are the things you need to do in order for you to lose weight or gain weight. And what are the other factors that we need to look into why you are not losing weight or why you are not gaining weight. But for today, for now, what I would like you to understand is there must be a balance between the intake and your expenditure. In other words, there's a balance between what you eat and how you do your physical activities. Alright? I'm not gonna say it's diet alone or activities alone. What I'm promoting and advocating is a balance between food intake and your physical activities. Okay? So, that's it for today. So, I hope you learned something from our discussion all about energy balance. So, if you want to know more about nutrition, fitness, and health, you may put your comments, and we will try to discuss those things, and I will also try to answer. Hopefully I have time, but there's a lot of things I would like to share about to you guys. But for the meantime, again, for you to lose weight, the expenditure should be higher than that of the intake, and for you to gain weight, the intake should be higher than that of the expenditure. If you want to maintain your weight, then the food intake should be, or the intake should be balanced with your expenditure. Alright, so if you learned something, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also follow me in my Instagram account of the same name, John Paul R&D, and my Facebook page, I am John Paul R&D. Okay, so again, please don't forget to subscribe and share this and like this as well, alright? Alright, thank you so much. I'll see you again on our next discussion. We'll be talking about foods that will help you lose weight and that will help you gain weight. This is John Paul R&D saying to you, keep safe, keep healthy, and keep fit. Alright, goodbye. See you next time.